Hello everyone, welcome to Pathak Gala College of Commerce and Management. This is Dr. D.S. Maske. Today I am going to discuss about agriculture and industrial development. Agriculture and industrial development. So under this unit I will cover environmental problems associated with the industries. Industrialization has the potential to help achieve a variety of social objectives such as employment, poverty eradication, gender equality, labor standards, and the greater access to education and healthcare. At the same time, industrial processes can have a negative environmental impact, causing a climate change, loss of natural resources, air and water pollution, and extinction of species. These threaten a global environment as well as economic and social welfare. Industrial processes play a major role in the degradation of the global environment. In industrialized countries like Europe, USA, Canada, Japan, etc., environmental regulation and new technologies are reducing the environmental impact per unit produced. But industrial activities and the growing demand are still putting a pressure on the environment and the natural resources. In developing countries, a double environmental effect is occurring. Old environmental problems such as deforestation and soil degradation remain largely unsolved. At the same time, new problems linked to industrialization are emerging, such as rising greenhouse gas emissions, air and water pollution, growing volumes of the waste, desertification, and the chemicals pollution. So, some of the environmental problems associated with the industries are as follows. See, just like air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, land pollution, global warming, acid rain, depletion of ozone layer, etc. The National Academic Report Review of the US Water Management and the Control defines pollution as the undesirable changes in the physical, chemical, and biological characteristics of the air, water, and land that will be or may be harmful to human and other life. The Environment Pollution Panel of the US President's since Advisory Committee defines environmental pollution as the unfavorable alteration of our surrounding fully or largely as byproduct of man's actions through direct or indirect effect of the changes in the energy patterns, radiation levels, chemical and physical conditions of organisms. In short, pollution causes undesirable in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of the environment. Isn't it? So now the types of pollutions. The following are four types of pollutions which have been described briefly in the following: air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, and land pollution. This is the image of air pollution, water pollution, land pollution. As I told you before minute that about the air pollution. So what is air pollution? The substances which cause the pollution are known as pollution. It may be defined as any substances that is released intentionally by man into the environment in such concentration that may have an adverse effect on the environment and health. So just try to understand some specific pollution and their effects. Number one, oxide of carbon. The combustion of the fossil fuels of the product of the source of the energy is the major means by which man pollutes atmospheres. Carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide are the gaseous pollutants produced in the largest quantities from the natural and anthropogenic source. Consumption of transport fuel are the principal source of the carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide. Headache, nausea, vomiting, mental confusion are some of the effects on our health because of these gases in the excess. Oxide of sulfurs. Gases sulfur oxides and the sulfur trioxides are the serious pollutants of our atmosphere. Coal combustion, oil refineries, copper, lead and zinc smelting are the important source of oxides of sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxides. These poison gases destroy leaf tissues and damage to physiological state of the leaves like a discoloration. The inhalation of these gases cause short-term respiratory irritation. So this was about the oxide of sulfur. Now let us understand oxides of nitrogen. Number of oxides of nitrogen exist in the polluted atmosphere play a significant role in air pollution. The principal sources of the nitrogen oxide are combustion of coal, transport and the industrial processes. The most important atmospheric reactions of these gases is the formation of photochemical smoke. It appears as a white yellow haze. Eye irritation and damage to vegetation are the major effects. Now here you can see the image of air pollution. As we have seen air pollution, now let us understand the water pollution. Water pollution is a contamination of water bodies due to addition some poisonous substances into fresh water. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies usually as a result of human activities. Water bodies include sea, lakes, river, ocean, sea and groundwater. Water pollution is a result when the contaminants are introduced into the natural environment. The sources of water pollution and their effects as follows. Number 1, municipal and domestic waste, industrial wastewater, agriculture wastewater, radioactive waste, etc. Here you can see the image of water pollution. See, our fresh water is very contaminated by the other sources. Municipal and domestic waste. Domestic or multiple sewage consist of water containing food waste, water from laboratories and baths, etc. Inorganic impurities are the sand, clay, particles of ore, mineral, salt, oil and many other substances which are used by man for various purposes. So this was about the municipal and domestic waste. Now let's try to understand effects. Depletion in oxygen content caused by the biological oxidation of the organic matter, stimulation of the algae growth and the shift of algae diversity towards blue-green algae leading to the production of obnoxious blooms. Public sewage containing various microorganisms, bacteria, yeast and other mold algae. For example, growth of helmintic etc. are the dangerous with respect to epidemic diseases of man and animals. Now industrial waste. The industrial wastewater contains raw materials, processed chemicals processed by the product, impurities from the industries. Now effect. Organic substances that deplete the oxygen content and the increase biological oxygen demand. In organic substances like carbonates, chloride, and the nitrogen that make the water body unfit for use. Acid and alkalis affect the growth of fish and the other aquatic life forms. Toxic substances like phenol, heavy metals like mercury, lead, which cause damage to both flora and fauna. Oil and other floating substances which interfere with self purification of the water bodies. Here you can see how industrial wastewater contaminating our fresh water. Agriculture chemicals. Fertilizers, you know all fertilizers. Some of the fertilizers are washed off land through irrigation. Rainfall and the drainage into rivers and the streams where they can seriously disturb aquatic system. Excessive and the indiscriminate use of inorganic fertilizers often leads to accumulation of the nitrates in water. Pesticides, a large quantities of the different types of the poisonous agricultural chemicals are being used nowadays. Many of these chemicals are known to persist for long period of time in the atmosphere and become toxic of the aquatic organisms. The increasing uses of the pesticides in the modern land and water management has posed a potential hazards not only livestock and wildlife but also for fish and other animals. So this was about the fertilizers. Now just try to understand the radioactive waste and heat. Radioactive substances are the most toxic substances whose injurious effects are tremendously high. Nuclear war materials, test explosions, increased use of power reactors and use of radioactive materials in a medical industry and research are the principal source of radioactive exposure threaten our environment. Here you can see the agriculture chemical radioactive waste and heat image. As we have seen water pollution, now let us understand noise pollution. Noise has been described as an unwanted and annoying sound. It is an inseparable part of modern life. There are mainly three sources of noise pollution, namely industrial, community, and traffic noises. The industrial workers exposed due to excessive noise produced from such factories. The community noise is mainly occur due to various activities of the community during the religious occasions, marriages or public functions. In most of the cities, transport use of pressure horns have been a constant source of noise pollution. These three main metro cities of India, namely Mumbai, Kolkata and Delhi, noisiest cities of the world. Just we have seen the information about the noise pollution and the polluted cities in India. Now let us understand the effects. Noise mainly affects hearing but may also affect health in other ways. For example, excessive noise can result in a headache, fatigue, dizziness, high blood pressure, tension in muscles, and the abnormal heart rhythms. As we have seen the information about the noise pollution and the effects of noise pollution, so over here you can see the image of noise pollution. Thank you. Thank you so much.